Delta Enigma, reality. Yes, from Finland. These guys rock. They also done many other songs actually, and I can't wait to interview them again. And we were talking about them with Christopher in the backstage. Actually, we were talking about how it's to be, behind the microphone. That is very funny, many times, but in a good way, of course, not disrespect for anyone. Also, we were, of course, stop talking about Delta Enigma because we were talking about you, Christopher. you know, I don't want to take in space from your time. So
yeah, save it for their show.
Yes, you're so right. And we were talking also about the ritual that you have, though you can have, you might have, you could have everything in if you have a kind of a ritual when you have to concentrate and focus on your writing. Se hai un rituale, volevo chiederti se hai un rituale quando scrivi. That's what I was telling.
So my rituals, I definitely have rituals the way I write books. As I said before, I do a lot of stuff in the notes section on my phone, and I start off any book with just be an idea. I'll write down the title or how I think the book's going to go, and then I just leave it. I don't carry on with it. I leave it in my phone, don't think too much more about it. And then when I have spare time, it's usually like in the evenings when it's quiet, or if I go to bed early or something like that, I'll sit in bed and I'll just think of ideas. I'll go through my phone and I'll look at all these titles and ideas I've got, and I'll think about one or think about multiple ones, and I'll start writing ideas down for that book, how I think it's going to go, what could happen in that book, how I think children would enjoy it, what I think the magical element to it or the surprise element or the characters will be. And then after that, it's just I schedule out the story. So I know that each of my books is roughly about 16 pages long. They're probably about 600 to 700 words. So I'll think of 16 pages of how the story would go, introduction to the character, where does he go, who does he meet, what happens to him on his journey, how does he come back, what's changed, and I'll just put a story together like that. And then I'll focus on each page individually. So the introduction, I know you've read some of the introductions to my book. If I read you one of them now, actually, that might help you. So my book that's out at the moment, the introduction starts like, a little mouse woke up in the dark in his bed, no light to turn on, the colour was dead, the windows were pale, the walls and the floors, the ceiling was blank, and so were the doors. So in the first page, you see who the character is, what's going on, and it gives you an idea of how the book's going to go. And then from then on, I just unfold the story and rhyme and try and bring it back to a conclusion. Most of the time I have like a moral to the story or something the children should learn in the end. And after that, it's down to the illustrator to bring it to life.
Right. And that's beautiful that you project the writing part, but also the illustrative part, because not everyone does it. Maybe because, tell me.
You've got to be really careful. So not telling the whole story in words is something I've learned a lot, is you don't give everything in words, because the illustrator still has a job to give some of those elements that you don't describe.
Yeah, it is. Oh, then the illustrators see something that maybe also the writer can see, or maybe that's a beautiful thing that I've seen in many illustrators that I respect for real. I would love one day to be like them. That, for example, they see a text, the text says something, but they draw the exact opposite just to make the contrast, or they put the attention on something that it's like just, you're just talking about it in the refrain, for example, but they make it like the main character. They do. That's beautiful. For example, if there's the story of, I don't know, the crocodile and the mouse, they put the attention not on the crocodile that is big, huge. They go on the mouse and they make it cuter, they make it smaller, and that's so nice.
Yeah, of course.
I know
No,
you can understand me.
yeah, definitely. I think when you're writing a good book, it's key to leave some of it to the illustrator to bring out.
It's true. That's true. So illustrator does also a good job, but also the writer, because he gives the idea, all the ideas, all the directions. It's like a
Yeah.
movie. It's like a
It
movie,
is.
basically. Yes. So,
I think
but you yes,
the text would be nothing without the illustrations, and the
right.
illustrations would be nothing without the text.
That's right. Definitely. That's it. That's exactly as you said. Per i nostri amici italiani dall'Italia, volevo dirvi che il nostro Chris ci raccontava del suo rito per scrivere, perché lui scrive soprattutto la sera, quando tutto è calmo e tranquillo, c'è pace dopo il lavoro, i bimbi magari sono a letto e lui si mette a scrivere. Intanto lui scrive circa 16 pagine, per quanto riguarda comunque intende dire strofa e illustrazione, perché le progetta in base al testo e scrive circa 600 parole ogni volta, anche di più comunque. Spesso deve addirittura tagliare, perché spesso non rientra nelle misure di un libro per bambini, che di solito sono 32 pagine, 24 o 28, e quindi per lui è la cosa più importante è proprio questa. E ci diceva anche dell'importantissimo lavoro che fanno gli illustratori in generale. Io facevo l'esempio, per esempio, di quegli illustratori che leggono tra le righe, cioè non fanno esattamente letteralmente quello che è scritto, ma vedono più in là di quello che è scritto, ovvero rappresentano una scena che magari lo scrittore stesso non che non abbia dato importanza, ma te l'ha lasciato intravedere, cosa che io rispetto moltissimo in questi illustratori. Also, dear Chris, we were talking before we were talking about one of the books that is just released in a few weeks, and it's called "My Grandma Lives in a Tree House."
Yes.
Yeah, so my grandma lives in a tree house, and I didn't even know. So, would you like to talk about this? I have a copy.
Yeah, of course.
I have a copy.
Yeah. That book, I work with obviously illustrators and publishers. My first Alexander books were published by one publisher, and my latest book, The Day the Colours Went Away, was published by another publisher. But the grandma book, I very much tried to keep totally to myself. I want to retain all sort of rights over it and everything else, because it does mean so much to me. I wrote it when we first started lockdown, and I saw that my children, and particularly my oldest daughter, she missed spending time with grandparents. She missed spending time with family. So the intention for the book was to find a way of, when everyone could get back together, how does a grandmother and how does a grandfather find that time again and find that connection again with their grandchildren that they haven't seen for so long. So the book itself is designed for, you give it to a child, but you don't necessarily need to give it to a child. You can give it to a grandparent, and the grandparent can read it with the grandchild, and they can sit there whenever they go around or see each other and have that connection again and that moment again that we've missed very recently. And it's a funny story, so it helps.
Yes, no, this is a very sweet story, actually. Also because grandpas are very important for children. Also for us,
Yeah.
because they're like a second father and mother, and they're very sweet, they're very tender, they always have time for you. For example, I don't have a grandma Nachi. No, I don't have them no more. I'm so sorry, but I always think about them. So this book, it was so kind and cute. Also to see this joyful grandma and grandpa, actually, because they're very like youngful. They're very. Who's old? Who's old? Maybe you are old, not me. Like they're this way. So
that's exactly how I wanted to write it.
right.
People think of grandparents as old and frail, but actually they can be young, and they can go on slides and swings and things like that. So I wanted there to be a part of it that made older people think of their grandchildren if they had gone, and for young people to cherish their grandparents that were still there.
Absolutely. So for this is dedicated to all the grandpa and grandmas, actually.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this is a very cute gift that you can give to all the babies and everyone that misses their grandma and grandpa.
Yeah.
Questo libro intanto che ci diceva che si chiama La mia nonna vive in una casa sull'albero, per il nostro Chris è importante perché la sua piccolina praticamente le mancavano i nonni, le mancava il tempo da passare con loro, e allora ha voluto dedicare un intero libro illustrato, ho il piacere di averlo, riguardante questa coppia di nonni che vive, è molto giovanile, molto che pensa di non essere assolutamente anziana, vive in modo spericolato su una casa sull'albero, e la cosa divertente è proprio le rime, il racconto in sé, che veramente vivamente lo consiglio a tutti. And this book is available on Amazon, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So people can definitely check it. Questo libro ovviamente è disponibile su Amazon, quindi potete tranquillamente prenderlo, e fateci sapere anche le vostre impressioni, diciamo, su questa storia. So I would love to invite Italian people also to buy this book, read it, and let us know what they think about the story.
Yeah, absolutely. And if they want to leave a review against it,
Yes.
that'll be appreciated as well.
Definitely. Reviews are much appreciated.
Yeah,
very
very
much.
appreciated.
So you just need to do this. So just check it when you check for, I don't know, something that maybe it's usable on Amazon. Just check this book. Do a review. Check it. You can do this. So we're gonna listen to just a little more music, then we go back to you for the final questions and for anything you would like to say to Italy. Alright?
Great.
Great. So we're gonna listen to, this is a bass cover of Lava Fix It by Nulet.
Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a ascent trip.